We all want professional sounding vocals, but not all of us have a $20,000 budget to buy microphones, although it would be nice. So today I'm going to show you how you can make any microphone sound expensive, or at least good enough that most people won't hear the difference anyways and it won't matter. First, we need a decent but cheap microphone. This is the Shure SM58, and you can see the dent up there where I ran it over with my car. You can pick these up for about $100 US, so significantly less expensive than the multi-thousands of dollars that most other microphones are. And it's a dynamic, and it's pretty reliable, and you just really cannot go wrong with it. If you have $100 to spend, I do highly recommend this microphone. Okay, great. We got our cheap microphone. I'm assuming you already have an interface and some sort of DAW to record. Now on to step one. You need to nail down your recording. One of the best ways to do this is to literally quiet your room. I put acoustic treatment panels up on the walls around me. This helps a ton. If you are renting a place and you're not allowed to put anything up on the walls, fear not, there is still a solution for you. You can use a blanket, or if you have a closet with a bunch of clothes in it, you can use that. Towels are also great for eliminating a lot of noise. And I like to put them over top of a coat hanger or one of those portable coat racks and just kind of place it around the room where I'm trying to record at. Anything you can do to eliminate the room sound will help. Listen to the difference between these two rooms. One is acoustically treated, one is not. Oh, my hope in you. You're my anchor, and I know that I will not be moved. Oh, my hope in you. You're my anchor, and I know that I will not be moved. Now, the second thing you really need to pay attention to is the proximity effect. The closer you are to a microphone, the more low end you're going to create. The farther away, the less low end you're going to create. Cheaper microphones kind of lack a little bit in the low end, so getting closer can help, but you have to be careful because they start to become brittle towards the top end. The 58 seems to do a great job at capturing a nice rich sounding vocal, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about it there, but definitely keep your microphone in mind. Now on to step two, your performance. I don't want to talk too much about this because every performance is just a little bit different, and what's great to you might not be necessarily great to me or somebody else. But just keep this in mind. Everything revolves around capturing a great performance. That's why we do this. So please don't skip this part. This is the most important part. Get a great performance. Now on to step three. You need to nail down your vocal mix. Now a vocal mix should be pretty simple for the most part, but a cheap microphone throws a monkey wrench into the whole equation. You might have to take some extra steps to overcome this. So first you're gonna need some auto-tune. That's for me, not for the microphone. My vocals sound really rough without auto-tune. So first we're gonna wanna carve out some unwanted frequencies here. This just eliminates a lot of that unwanted frequencies that the microphone has to begin with. A 58 is actually not that bright on the top end, so I can add some brightness to the top end, but there's a little bit of rumble at the low end that we just don't need at all. And then there's a little bit of a honk around 500 to 600 hertz that I just wanted to eliminate. I trust in you. You're the only one that's ever gonna bump. A lot better. It's taking a lot of that low, muddy frequencies out, and then there's that honky mid-range that I just cut out. Now on to compression, and I like to keep the first compressor pretty simple. I usually use a 4 or a 6-to-1 ratio, right around in there. It doesn't matter that much. Don't overcomplicate the numbers. It doesn't have to be specific. It just needs to sound good. And then I have a medium attack and a medium release, and then I just bring the threshold down until I'm getting around -3 to -6 dB of gain reduction. Pull me through! Oh, oh. And then I use the makeup gain to basically bring the gain back up to where I was compressing the most. I was compressing the most at around -6 dB, so I was bringing up 6 dB of compression. That levels out everything, so it kind of brings the quieter parts up by 6, and then the loudest parts get turned down by 6, compressing the vocal. Now here's where things get a little bit tricky. Some more frequencies started to reveal themselves as I started compressing this lower quality, more affordable microphone. That's the problem with this. And so we're going to have to throw on another EQ to fix this. And before anybody starts freaking out about adding another compressor and another EQ and another compressor and another EQ, don't worry. There are no rules. Sometimes when you're working with cheaper equipment, you have to make up for that in processing. So I want to cut some more of those lows just to make sure that I got them all and the compressor didn't bring any back up. And then there's this nasty resonant frequency that's right here that I wanted to eliminate. You're the only one that's ever gonna pull me through. So I just turned it down by about 7 dB to really make sure that I was cleaning up that vocal. So without this EQ, and I put my trust in you, and I put my trust in you. And then I added just a touch more brightness up at the top end. Not a whole lot, but it's there nonetheless. And then we're going to add another compressor to really make sure that this vocal is sitting in the mix where I want it to. This one, I really like to have a high ratio. A 20:1 works really good. I want to bring down the threshold until I'm compressing a decent amount. Then I want a faster attack and a faster release to really make this vocal sound like it's pumping. I'm singing a little bit more aggressively than I actually am. I love stacking compressors like this. And I put my trust in you. And I put my trust in you. So now we're getting to a really decent spot with it so far, but there's a couple more things I want to add. A little bit of distortion or analog saturation goes a long way when recording with cheaper equipment. One of my favorites is Saturation Knob by Softtube. Just going to bring up the saturation just a touch. And I put my trust in you. You're the only one that's ever gonna... Just makes it just a bit more aggressive. It makes it sit in the mix just that much better. Next, I want to send this to my vocal effects bus, which has some reverbs, delays right in that bus. Now let's see how everything is sounding so far. Oh, my hope in you. You're my anchor, and I know that I will not be moved. Not bad. Things are sounding a lot better, but there's another trick that's highly underrated, and this works whether you have cheap equipment or expensive equipment, and I think everybody should be doing it all the time. Step 4 is layering, and I'm just going to show you the difference between layers and no layers. And I put my trust in you. You're the only one that's ever gonna pull me through. And I put my trust in you. You're the only one that's ever gonna pull me through. And now in the context of the whole mix. And I put my trust in you. You're the only one that's ever gonna pull me through. And now step 5 is to nail down the mix. If you have a great sounding vocal, but you don't have a great sounding mix, it's gonna sound super awkward and they're not gonna be meshing well together. Now, getting a great sounding mix doesn't have to be super difficult. In fact, I have 5 mixing tips in under 5 minutes, and you can watch that video right here. Inside that video, I show you 5 mixing tricks that I use every single day to get my mixes to sound radio ready and to make sure that my vocals and my mix both have a professional sound. So click on that video there. I'll see you over there. Now, as always, go create.